Hello everyone and welcome to a quick review of the MG-HS trophy version. So I'm going to be taking you around like a point of view kind of a video showing you everything from the exterior to the interior, and also a short drive to tell you how good this HS trophy version is. But before we move forward, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking that subscription button, red one. Next to that there is a bell icon. Make sure to press that and leave all the notifications on, so that ways you will never miss any video updates from my channel. So let me start off from the front. So you get a chrome grille out here with the chrome MG badging and these dotted chrome versions as well on the grille which have been given. Your headlights are the LED headlight cluster. There's also the DRLs, and there is also a bit of a animation that goes on the headlights as well. At the bottom you would find your fog lights which are halogen, again chrome surround around it. There's also a silver color normal body plastic which has been given out here, mesh grille at the bottom as well. And when you go on the sides, you have 18-inch alloy rims which are given across on both the models, and the side mirrors are power foldable. They are also power adjustable. They also have one of the cameras from the 360-degree camera system, and there is also a chrome on the door handle as well. And there is also smart keyless entry door handles which are only for the front and not the back. There's also more skirtings at the bottom, and also a chrome strip which has been given, and also there's a blind spot warning which has been given not inside the mirror but on the side of the frame out here. And in the back again you have this chrome surround around these windows as well. When we move to the back, you have a mixture of halogen and LED tail light cluster. There's the signature LED lights which you get out here. There's also the MG-HS all-wheel drive badging out here. So this is an all-wheel drive version. There's also a front-wheel drive version, but this is the top spec, which is what we've got out here. There are also dual exhaust in the back which are given, and both are functional exhaust tips and not just for the sake of giving you the exhaust tips. There is also the trophy badging which is given only on one side, on the left side, but not on the other side, to remind you that this is a trophy version of the normal MG-HS version. And there is also a panoramic sunroof which has been given along with the silver roof rails. And in terms of the boot space, but first in terms of the visibility, it's actually kind of alright, but it sort of cuts out the lower end of your road. That's the only thing, but yeah, you can still see far away that way. In terms of the boot space, when the rear seats are up, you can put 463 liters of luggage in the back. There are also scruff plates which are given out here. There's also a spare wheel, but before that there's also a small storage which has been given, and underneath that there is a spare wheel, but a temporary one, not the full size one. Now there is also a boot separator which has been given, but there's no place to put that boot separator when you remove it, so yeah, you have to just keep it down and it will consume a bit of your space. The rear seats are foldable in a ratio of 60:40, and you can easily just pull this lever and push those seats down. They take a little while, but yeah, when the rear seats are folded down, you can put 1454 liters of luggage in the back, and the boot space is pretty even that way, and it's pretty flat, and in fact it's one of the largest boot spaces that you will find in its segment. There are also more small storages which are given out here, but there are no tying hooks or anything which are given on this MG-HS. Now in terms of the interior, let's jump in and show you what's new on this ZS. So you get a 12.3 inch, let me switch on the car and you can see a cool bit of animation out here. So you get a 12.3 inch driver's display out here, and this driver's display is actually the biggest that has been offered in the segment itself. So you get quite a big one, but there's a bit of a glare issue if you can see. Yeah, that's the only thing, and you can even change the information on your screen that you see, your long journey, short journey, your tire pressure monitoring system, your voltage, your consumption and everything, and then you come back. Then you can go to your right, like the buttons are given out here, so you can see the illumination levels. Then you can leave it in the blank screen mode as well. So yeah, that's the thing. So now you can see properly when there is no glare on it. There's also this plastic still which has been put on this one. So yeah, it's not been removed. I think that is probably the reason why it's still not showing properly, but nonetheless it's a good screen that you get, and you can clearly see in the day as well. And when you come to the steering wheel, this is a flat bottom steering wheel with half perforated, and there are also paddle shifters which are given out here, plastic ones, and then MG badging in the middle. And on the right side you would find the controls for your driver's display, which has been given out here. There's also a star button which can be customized when you long press from this infotainment screen as well. You can customize and do whatever you want. And on the left side you would find the controls for your infotainment and also your media controls, and also the communication controls and the source button and everything. And then this steering wheel is manually adjustable, which is your tilt and your telescopic, both of it, so you can adjust and get the right position as well. And then you can lock it in. Come on, takes a little while. Yep, yeah, now it's locked. And there are also more smaller storages which are given out here. And the vents, if you look at it, they look a little similar to the Mercedes. And not just that, even the interior layout, if you see, it looks very similar to a Mercedes. And in fact this is a trophy version, which is why there is a red and black combination which has been given. So the material quality is rather nicer, I would say. This is all leather out here, soft touch on the dashboard, even out here. And out here the switches and everything, yeah, they feel pretty plush that ways. And then the design out here which has been given in the door card, so rather nice way of, you know, presentation in terms of the interior, especially the color of it, which goes really well with this one. And then normal vents which are given out here. Now when you come to the infotainment screen, you get a 10.1-inch colorful display and a rather simple operation as well. I've done a detailed video on how to operate this infotainment screen, so you can watch that later once that is being uploaded after this video. So you get straight media option, your navigation option, inbuilt navigation system has been given HVAC. But the thing is, it's slightly lagging, this whole system. It feels a little too much, like, as you can see, like it's been filled with a lot of things, which is why it takes a little while to load. Then your air conditioning controls, which are your on screen. So there are no physical buttons which are given for your air conditioning system, so you can just operate it from your only. So you can switch it on, and then you can change all your different settings, the flow of air and then the temperature. And then you get the dual zone air conditioning system on this MGHS. And also you get the heated seat options. For some reason that has been given on this one, so I would rather just keep it off for sure. There's also an air cleaner option which has been given, so you go there and then you can basically filter out the air that you want inside the car. So that will show you the air quality as well inside when that happens. And not just that, there is also the buttons which are given out here for your infotainment screen, and then shortcut buttons which are given, that I'll come to that later. So there are also more options which are given at the bottom for your phone when you're connected. There's also the car option, in which you will find all your detailed options like your driving assistance, comfort and convenience, driving and maintenance, and factory settings. Then the only thing is that in order to come back to your home screen, you have to press this home button all the time. So let me show you again. I think I missed it. So when I press the home button, that's when you can come back to it. Then there is the setup option, in which you will find your audio, radio, time, Bluetooth, all of those options, and all your sound system. So you get 6-speaker music system on this MGHS top of the line, which is the all-wheel drive. Otherwise you get a 4-speaker system on the 2-wheel drive. And once we go back to the main screen again, there is the 360-degree camera system which I had mentioned. So it's pretty decent, although it's a little grainy sometimes, that's the only thing, but nonetheless it's still a pretty good approach to the 360-degree camera system. Then you get the 360 view, top view out here on one side, and the separate 2D view. You can switch to the 3D view as well, and then you can see the different views from the car itself again, which is why I said it feels a little overloaded, which is why it feels a little slow and sluggish to perform sometimes. And in terms of the connectivity, you get Bluetooth, USB. There is also the wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you're probably going to be using Google Maps most of the time, so then yeah, navigation is actually not going to make a lot of difference. There's also the pictures and the videos. When you're connected to the USB, you can see that. There is also the on and off button, so you can switch off the screen and then again you can switch on. Again, there is a plastic on this screen as well. Now there's one more interesting feature, and that is that when you're standing and then when you're turning, let's say I want to turn right, so there's a feed that comes up on your screen along with the right side feed to show you how close you are to the other vehicle, or if you're parking, or if you're in a traffic. So if you go like left side, then it will show you the left view as well, and you can see the top view, and also this. You can even switch to the 3D view if you want to. So that's a pretty cool feature. I find, like, you know, when you're going around, and then it just works at below, I think, 15 kilometers per hour. So once you cross that, the feed will just disappear again. So that's one more feature that has been given. Now there are buttons which are given at the bottom for your air conditioning, the flow of air, the rear, front, and all of that. Then you can pretty much like click this and then go into the air conditioning settings as well from here. And there's also the vehicle settings which has been given, so quickly you can go in there from here as well. Then the home button, and then there is the volume button. I feel that if there was a knob or something out here, that would have been rather easier to operate. Now in terms of the charging, you get two standard USB ports which are given out here and one 12-volt power socket. There are also two more USB ports which are given in the rear for the rear passengers, which I'm going to come and show you later on once we move in the back. And also this thing is, one port is for charging while the other one is only for the connectivity option, which is your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And it's also got this door, and it's also got this plastic trim which is like the brushed aluminum pattern which has been given out here. Some MG badging in here as well. There are more buttons which are given out here for your driving modes, 360-degree camera system, and engine start stop, and the differential lock that you get, and the tailgate if you want to open. Then this is the auto start stop feature. Then this again is the mode, so you get 4 different driving modes. So let me show you that. Let me actually show you on the screen itself. So those are your sport mode, your custom mode, which you can customize from this infotainment screen as well, and there is also the eco mode, and there is also the normal mode. But there is also one special mode, and the button for that is given on your steering wheel, which you would have noticed a long time ago. So that button is called the Super Sport button. So once I press that Super Sport button, all the settings of the car are dialed up to their maximum. Your powertrain, your all the performance options are all dialed up to maximum to give you all the maximum performance. So that's one button which you can use while on the move. If you feel a little bit sporty, then you can do that. And then all these dials and all, they have different sort of animation as well, and then you can return back again by pressing that same button. There is a lot of animation which you will see on the screen itself as well. Now you get a panoramic sunroof on this, which is pretty big, I would say, especially during the winters. This is a pretty cool feature to have because it makes the whole cabin pretty airy. So let me open it and show you. Yes, see, it goes all the way to the back. So it's pretty big as well. Now in terms of the storage, you can put about 1 liter worth of bottle in the door cards, even 1.5 liter worth of bottle, and then some more storage on the side. There's one more small storage out here. There's also this storage that you can use to, I don't know, keep your phones for charging. Then there is also these 2 cup holders which are given out here. You can remove that and you can utilize the entire space for storing anything. There's also one dedicated slot for your phone. Then there is also a hand rest inside which there is storage, but the storage also acts as a cool box. So you can see that you can slide, you can slide that, and then you can store your drinks or something in here, water, whatever you want to store in here. There's also one glove box which has been given out here. It's a decent size. Again, out there also you can put about 1 to 1.5 liter worth of bottle, some more storage on the sides. And let's move in the back, and then I will show you what's there for the rear passenger in terms of the storage. Now when you come to the seats, these are the red color seats which are specifically given for this trophy package of the HS. So you get this red leather out here, and then this design, and even at the bottom a bit of a design out here. And these are the sporty seats, which is why the backrest is in one piece, and you get the headrest, which is a fixed one, and the trophy badging on it. There are also the suede materials, which are inserts, which are given out here, even in the center and on the other side as well. And then these are pretty sporty seats that way. There's a bit of a cutout out here as well. So yeah, these headrests don't move, they are the fixed ones, but yeah, these seats are pretty comfortable that way. And one more thing which I find is, like, there's a very high driving position which you find on these seats as well, but in terms of the comfort, they are pretty spot on, even though they are the sporty seats. Now the passenger and the driver side seat both are adjustable 8-way electronically. Now let's move in the rear and show you what it's like to be the rear passenger on the HS. So in the rear, now you get the same red color leather seats out here in this design, and also the suede material, but the headrests are adjustable. You get 3 headrests as well, and then the door cards, they have the same similar design which was there even in the front. So you get the same design out here, and the cutout which I was mentioning, I'm going to come to that as well. But overall the comfort levels are pretty decent, but in the middle there's a bit of a hump, so when you sit out here, yeah, that's going to be a bit uncomfortable sometimes if you're the middle passenger. But nonetheless, for the longer journeys, it's still pretty all right, I would say. There are also the handrest which has been given, and then the best part is it's covered. So the 2 cup holders which you get, which are the flexible ones, are covered, so you can utilize the handrest as well. There's also a bit of a storage out here to store your things and stuff, but this has also got the brushed aluminum design out here in the plastic cover which has been given. There are also more pocket storages which are given, and then also you can even slide your feet under the seats and get a bit more storage. But yeah, you can't really slide in too much because the seats are quite padded that way. There is also, in terms of the storage, you can put like 1 liter worth of bottle in the door cards and some more tiny storage in the back, and then the same design of the door cards which has been given out here. And in the back you get 2 air conditioning vents, you can just control the flow of air, and there are 2 standard USB ports which are given for the rear passenger. And also the tunnel is not that much, it's a pretty flat one, even though this is an all-wheel drive car, but it's pretty decent. But overall the knee room and also the headroom is pretty good out here, because you can easily, like someone above 6 feet 3 inch or 2 inches can easily fit in here, because there is that much of a room out here. And when I come to this cutout out here, yeah, that's what I was mentioning, because you really can't see what's in the front because of this fixed seat which has been given. So let me just zoom out and show you. Yeah, so you can only see through this cutout, but then yeah, most of the time there will be a driver for sure, so you wouldn't be able to see that as well. So that's the only drawback of these sporty seats. So the MG HS Trophy version is powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that produces 231 horsepower and 360 Newton meters of torque, and this engine is mated to a 6-speed DCT transmission, which, to be honest, this whole powertrain option is kind of alright, but the engine feels a little noisy sometimes, and it lacks a little bit in terms of the punch, even though it's a 2-liter producing 231. And also the gearbox, that takes a little while, especially if you're going to start from a standstill, then it takes a little while to just get moving. And also the gear changes are a bit more clunkier, but for a day-to-day use, I mean, this is still all right, I would say. And in terms of the fuel efficiency, this engine would deliver anywhere between 8 to 8.5 kilometers per liter, depending on your driving, you know, how you are good at, so you can just eke out even more if you want. And when it comes to the suspensions, they are on the softer side, and yeah, they are quite on the softer side sometimes, and there's a bit of a roll as well as a result of that. And when you come to the steering is actually pretty alright. It's kind of decent, it's pointy, it's slightly lazy, you know, especially at the first when you start turning in, but otherwise it's pretty alright. There's just one thing, that it's got a huge turning circle, which I find, especially when you're maneuvering around like tighter corners, that's when you will realize that it's got a bit of, yeah, you know, bigger turning radius. That's about it. And when you come to the general chassis itself, you just feel like there's a body shell which is mounted on top of the chassis, and you always feel like you're driving on top of the car sometimes. That's the only thing. Also, this car comes with an all-wheel drive, while there is also a two-wheel drive option. So I don't know how capable this thing will be when you go, like, you can't take it full scale off-roading, but light off-roading, of course, this will be able to do. There are also special modes, as I mentioned. So you have driving modes like your eco, normal, sport, and also the custom mode. But when I put the car in the super sport mode, yes, things do improve a little bit. Like, the response becomes slightly more quicker and the car feels a little more livelier. But then again, yes, it's still that 2-liter engine that's a little lagging sometimes in terms of the response. It's still more clunkier that way. Now when you come to the brakes, these brakes are all 4-disc brakes, but the pedal is a little bit spongy, so you make sure you get a feel of it, and you have to really press it in so that you get the braking action, especially if you want to do it like an emergency brake or something. Then make sure you get a feel of the brake pedal as well. Now in terms of the noise and the vibrations, I actually like how quiet the cockpit is. There is only the engine noise that you will hear inside, that's about it. But otherwise it's a pretty quiet cabin, and that's what I really liked on this one. Even though you have the panoramic sunroof, yet it's still pretty good, and the build quality itself is pretty great on this car. Everything is so far pretty much intact and nothing is rattling or anything. Now when you come to the safety systems, you get standard safety systems like 6 airbags, 2 for the front driver and the passenger, 2 side airbags again for the driver and the passenger, 2 curtain airbags. There are also ABS, there is also EBD, there is also the 360-degree camera system which I had mentioned. There is also child ISOFIX points in both the rear seats. There is also the different safety systems like your tire pressure monitoring system and all of those stuff which is needed for a car which is like a day-to-day car. So that's all been given on this MG HS Trophy version as well. Now when you come to the pricing, the 2-wheel drive version comes in at around 81,000 dirhams. I'm going to put the exact pricing on your screen, while the top version, which is the all-wheel drive version, comes in at 95,600 dirhams, 642. I hope I'm right. Again, I'm going to put the exact price on your screen. So in terms of the pricing, yes, it's kind of decent offering, I would say, because you get a pretty big car, a comfortable car, and there is ample of boot space. There is ample of space for passengers. So all of that. There's also comfort. There's also this decent amount of luxury which has been given. There's also a lot of tech which has been given. A bit more improvement in terms of the infotainment screen. That would be nicer because it would make things a lot more quicker as well. And also in terms of the dynamics, if it can be improved a little bit, again, that would go a long way in terms of having a good feel of this car, because this is a trophy version and it's supposed to be a good handling car. And I've driven the ZS trophy version as well, and that car was pretty good in terms of how it was driving and how it felt. So like, for sure this also can be improved in that sense, but otherwise it's a great deal of option. If you are looking for an economical car for day-to-day driving, then yes, you can get and have a look at this car as well and put it in your options as well. Now that is it for this video. Give this video a thumbs up and thank you for watching this video. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, then you can click here, and if you want to watch more videos, then click here. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care and stay safe.